And we got one more match here in Atlanta for the FIFA World Cup. It's tomorrow at 3 p.m. England versus Argentina. It's going to be an epic one, a historic one, no doubt. And businesses across Metro Atlanta are learning that the World Cup, well, comes with some rules, from these covered logos at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, now temporarily nicknamed Atlanta Stadium, to what your favorite bar can and can't put on a chalkboard sign. Here to break down FIFA's trademark playbook, Dr. Heather Morgan, Clinical Assistant Professor of Marketing and Professional Sales at Kennesaw State University. Good morning. Great having you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
That's quite the title, by the way. Did I get it right?
You did.
Okay,
Thank you.
nice.
Yes, it's pretty long.
Yeah. Well, important what you're studying here. It's fascinating when you think about the FIFA trademarks and how I guess they just like having control over things, right?
Yes, they really do. They have exclusive partnerships, so they want to make sure that their sponsors are really getting what they pay for. So
Because they're paying top dollar.
they are paying top dollar, yes. So they want to protect that with everything they can.
Okay, so let's take Atlanta Stadium, for example.
Yes.
We just showed it.
Yes.
Typically, we call it Mercedes-Benz Stadium because, I mean, who knows what Mercedes-Benz paid for that? Yet FIFA made them remove that branding. Why?
Well, because Mercedes-Benz is not an official sponsor. So again, back to protecting those official sponsorships. Since those brands are paying so much money, they want to make sure that no one gets any kind of incidental exposure, if you will.
And that's true for stadiums all across the U.S., Mexico,
Correct,
Canada.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, there was something really interesting that happened in California with Levi's Stadium.
Tell me about that.
So just like Mercedes-Benz Stadium, FIFA made Levi's cover all of their logos as well because they're not an official sponsor. So when they did that, they put the draping over the logos, but what we realized is it's not really about the logo, right? Because people already knew what that logo looked like. So the fact that it got covered up, it actually got more people talking about it. So that's something called the Streisand effect. And it means that, when you're covering something up, you actually get more people talking about it and get more exposure. So Levi's was able to lean into that. It's pretty cool.
Levi's is just sitting back saying, all right, we'll take this. No such thing as bad publicity, right?
Right. And they really became part of the conversation and changed all their socials to show that blacked out logo. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so they're leaning into it and embracing it. What about, let's say I'm a restaurant in Atlanta and I want to lean into the World Cup. Can I put up a sign outside my restaurant that says World Cup specials or official watch party location?
No, you cannot. So you have to be very careful about how you're doing that. You can host a watch party, but you have to be careful not to use the World Cup terminology or any of the logos. But still, it's all about leaning into the experience and just remembering that visibility gets you attention, but it's really participation that matters because that's what builds loyalty. So you don't necessarily have to have your logo everywhere. You can still participate and get that consumer emotion and build loyalty that way.
So how can you participate legally speaking?
So, well, I don't have all the legal ins and outs because I'm not a legal professor, but you have to be very careful to make sure that you're following the World Cup branding trademark rules. So I would refrain from calling it the World Cup. Maybe you could say that you're having a watch party for the big event or something like that.
It's kind of like similar to the Super Bowl, right? The big game specials and whatnot?
Yes, absolutely.
There's a name for this, right? Ambush marketing?
Ambush marketing.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's really just trying to ride on the coattails and take advantage of the opportunity without necessarily using the official sponsorship terminology. And, you don't want to break any laws, so.
Does FIFA actually enforce these rules during the tournament?
Yes, they do. They do because they rely heavily on those sponsorships that they're selling. So they want to make sure that their sponsors get what they pay for.
What are some of their big sponsors? Do you know? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Adidas is a top sponsor for them. Powerade. They're sponsoring the hydration breaks. But again, it's not so much about having your name out there. It's about what you're doing with that visibility. So participation is what's going to build loyalty, not just having your logo out there. Consumers want to feel like it's part of the experience and not something that's just being forced on them. Mm-hmm. So brands have to be very careful to not just be intrusive, right? They want to be part of the conversation, but you have to be careful as to how you do that.
As somebody who studies marketing for a living, what have you found most interesting about the World Cup being in your backyard?
Well, I think just the extra excitement that it brings to Atlanta. We already know what a great city it is, but certainly the extra excitement that's here. I think some of the viral moments have been really interesting, like, for instance, what's happened with Hidden Valley Ranch. For example, in Europe, ranch is not as big as we are on ranch here, so people have really taken to ranch, and that whole product category is really having a moment. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
And who would have thought? I mean, you think
Who
Hidden
would've thought?
Valley
I mean,
drew that
I'm a
up?
huge fan, but I don't know.
Same. We do love a good
Yes.
condiment. Waffle House
Yes,
getting a lot of attention
Waffle House
lately.
getting a lot of attention as well. I mean,
Interesting.
deservedly so, right?
Well, of course, we do love our
Yes,
Wahoo here
we
in
do.
A. Anything else I'm missing that you want to mention today?
I think, this is just an incredible opportunity for our city. We know, because we live here, we know what an exciting place it is, but certainly the extra press that's come along with Atlanta, it's about leaving that impression with viewers so that they want to come to Atlanta if they maybe couldn't make it here for the match, or even if they did, so they want to come back.
Yeah, so if you're at the Convention Visitors Bureau in Atlanta, what are you thinking right now from a marketing perspective?
Wow. I'm just thinking what a great time it is to show off all the great things that we have in our city. So we have great food, culture, history, entertainment,
Yeah.
sports. I mean, everyone else is just seeing what we already know.
Yeah, I mean, MARTA's been doing well during all
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
The police, with a huge extra presence on there, have made sure
Yes.
that there have been no major incidents. So
Yeah.
let's keep it going. One more day tomorrow. Dr. Morgan from Kennesaw State. Great having you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much.